I like silence so much, as both for myself as well as a teaching method. And what I see when I'm quiet and present in front of a group that's present, it's kind of like if you would be able to see the songs that are playing over the ethers, the radio stations. If you could see all these streams, and there's a channel for everyone that is their unique channel, and it's constantly pouring down, and you're the radio, you can tune to it or not, you can receive it or you cannot receive it. But by being present and by being quiet, you begin to naturally, and it might be uncomfortable at first, there's a few humps, you can feel people or yourself be quite uncomfortable after a busy, hectic day, or a few months or a few years, depending on how often you take silence to cleanse yourself. You will find it's quite confronting to be silent, to be quiet, especially if you're in the presence of others who are able to maintain that presence. It will be amplified even more. It's like being in a room where many people are very, very tuned to the radio station that's coming through for them. So there's this full orchestra of harmony, of resonance, of power, literally power, coming forth, coming through. And to be tossed in a group like that, or even in front of one person like that, if they're able to really hold that space, can be disheveling at first, can be a little uncomfortable, because you're facing yourself, all the falsities that you build up every day, all the context, all the assumptions, all the baggage, all the other people's energies, all the cares and concerns, all the judgments and insecurities and perversions that you carry with you along your day, inevitably being part of a human civilization. To then suddenly be stopped in your tracks is like those negative G-forces, when a fast train suddenly comes to a halt. It's like, what's going on? And so you have to face yourself, you see yourself, you notice yourself. You don't notice that you have a body of everything goes with it. In this case, a body of knowledge, a body of information, a body of energy, a body of emotions. And suddenly that comes to a stop in a space like this. And you suddenly notice that you have such a body, such a body of baggage. And it's good, therefore, to come together in the presence of the Creator, in the presence of life itself, of pure existing, and to let that baggage unwind itself. Because otherwise we're just talking from our heads, and there's no heart, there's no soul, there's no song coming through. There's this beautiful symphony that wants to come forth, but because we lack, generally speaking, we lack in awareness and attentiveness, a quietude. The quietude is a means to an end, in a way. Quietude is a means to awareness, to gain self-knowledge, true self-knowledge, not the conceptual kind. True, direct, immediate self-experience, experiencing that of being. So it's good to come together in this space so that our radios can be tuned to this naturally. It naturally happens. We're always picking up each other's vibes. It's inevitable. We're all empaths. You can close yourself off to this. You can believe it's all your own stuff, but we're constantly resonating. And more so as the vibration globally is amping up, there's less and less of a barrier between one being and the next. The higher the frequency, the closer it is to the vibration of unity, of oneness. And so the barriers and the walls that previously could keep transparency at bay are dissolving. The veils are thinning worldwide. This is a planetary cosmic development, as well as a sociological collective development. But that's secondary. We're forced into this transparency by the nature of the vibratory upgrade, if you will, that's happening And so we are forced to become transparent. We are forced to face ourselves in that negative G-force space of suddenly coming to a halt, suddenly being confronted with who we are or who we've thought we've been for so long. Give space to yourself every day, even if it's 10, 20 minutes. Every day, find a nice spot in nature, on your deck, on your patio, in your living room, in your bed, laying down, whatever is most comfortable. And at least once a day, just take a moment to unwind. Take a moment to unwind. Just come to a stop. See who you are. You can't see who you are unless you stop. You can only think who you are, which is the opposite of seeing who you are. When you stop, you get to see who you are, know who you are, be who you are. A very powerful statement, but it's very scalable. Understanding is be as you are. It's very scalable, meaning I can tell a random quote-unquote ordinary person on the streets to be as they are, and for them that means just continue thinking what they're thinking, believing they're a politician with this much money in their bank account, on their way to their job, having a wife, 2 kids. That's be as you are for them. But the purer you become within, meaning the more distilled, the more stilled, the more frequently you stop to directly see yourself, you will find that be as you are becomes more and more empty. It becomes more and more like a mirror, more and more like a still lake reflecting the beauty. There's less and less of a personality there. And you can still choose to operate through a personality, but the identity disappears the more frequently you actually stop. And part of this is because in truth, in direct experience, there is no linear time. This is a complete fabrication of thought. There's no proof in any direct experience that there is something such as linear time. So the only way for you to maintain your sense of being the separate individual self with a history and a past and a memory is to repeat those thoughts over and over and over and over again. Because if you interrupt that for long enough, the linearity of it will start to drop away, will start to deconstruct itself. When you do not have the assumption that there is linear time, your assumed identity falls away, and be as you are starts to upscale real quick. And by upscaling, I mean get closer to the frequency of God.